Welcome to our channel. Today we'll discuss working of transformer and also regarding construction of transformer. Let's also discuss the transformation ratio of transformer and some applications of transformer. And meanwhile, we'll also learn the importance of welding transformer in industrial applications. Straight. So let me tell what is a transformer. Transformer is a static machine. It transfers the electrical power. It transfers electrical power from one circuit to another circuit at different voltages and currents, but with same frequency. So here, this transformer is a static device. Why? Because it doesn't move. It is located at single location. It is a static device. It is going to be in the rest position. It doesn't move. First of all, it is a static electrical machine which transfers AC electrical power from one circuit to another circuit at a constant frequency. But the voltage level can be altered. That means voltage can be increased or decreased according to the requirement. So it works on the principle of Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, which states that the magnitude of the voltage is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux. So according to Faraday's, we are going to have two Faraday's laws. The first Faraday's law, it states that here some EMF is induced due to change in the flux. Whenever there is a change in the flux, whenever you're going to observe the rate of change in the flux, then we can have the EMF. Some EMF is going to induce due to change in the flux. And according to second law, the magnitude of the EMF, induced EMF is, or the voltage is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux. Usually, this transformer it operates on the principle of mutual induction between two inductively coupled coils or circuits. Not only this Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, but also there is one other principle, that is mutual induction. That's based upon this also it is going to work. Okay. So let me tell why this transformer is important. Usually, what is the importance of transformer? So here, this electrical power. Usually, the electrical power is generated at power stations at 11 kilovolts. For economical reasons, AC power is transmitted at very high voltage, say 220 kilovolts or 440 kilovolts over long distances. So generally the power is generated at power stations like thermal power station, hydel power station, like many power stations are there. There the power is generated, electrical power is generated. From that, the power has to be transmitted over long distances. So in order to, generally the power is generated at 11 kilovolts. From that, it is transmitted over long distance. That's why it is converted to high voltage, that is 220 to 440 kilovolts. So therefore, here a step-up transformer is applied at the generating stations. See here, the step-up transformer is used to increase the voltage. How it is increasing? From 11 kilovolts to 220 to 440 kilovolts. Okay. So whenever signal is going to transfer over long distance, it will decreases its strength. That's why in order to since it is going to decrease the strength, meanwhile before going to transmit the power only, they are going to increase the voltage itself by using step-up transformer. For safety reasons, the voltage is now again for safety reasons again the voltage is stepped down to different levels by step down transformer at various substations to feed the power to the different locations, and thus utilization of power is done at 400 to 230 volts. So again, at the substations, during for safety purposes, again that high voltage electrical power is decreased to according to the requirement. It is decreased to different levels by using step down transformer. From the substations, from the generating station, it is feed to substations. Again, from the substations, the power is fed to the different locations like household appliances, household application purpose, as well as industrial application. Suppose if it is industrial applications, it is converted to 400 volts. For industrial applications, generally 400 volts is down converted to industrial application. For household appliances, it is down converted to 230 volts. So let me tell what is step up and step down transformer. So here, this is a general block diagram of transformer. Assume this V1 is the primary voltage and V2 is the secondary voltage. Or we can also tell this primary voltage is nothing but where AC input signal is applied, that between the terminals here, this input voltage is considered as the input AC voltage, and the voltage across the load can be treated as the secondary voltage. So if this secondary voltage is greater than the primary voltage, that is the voltage is raised compared to, see here, V1 is greater than V2. Here, compared to V1, V1 is higher value. That means it is increasing the input voltage. So the voltage is raised on the output side, and we can name this as step up transformer. Meanwhile, in other case, here the output is less than the input voltage. In this case, the voltage is lowered on the output side, and we'll name this transformer as step down transformer. Step down transformer is nothing but in which the input voltage is decreased to some required level. In a step up transformer, the input voltage is increased to the required level. Let us see the construction, basic construction of a transformer. So here the transformer basically consists of two inductive windings and a laminated steel core. It basically consists of two windings which are wound on a soft iron or silicon steel core. The winding which is connected to AC supply is known as, I will show this. This is here, this is the laminated core. It is wounded. There are two windings, primary winding and secondary winding. They are wounded around a soft iron or silicon steel core. The winding which is connected to the supply mains is known as primary winding. Here, the winding which is connected to the supply mains is known as, or it is the winding which is connected to AC voltage source is known as primary winding, and the winding which is connected to the load is known as secondary winding. The two windings are not physically connected. If you observe, see here, there is no physical connection between these two windings. There is no electrical connection between these two windings, but there is a magnetic linkage between these two coils. These two windings are insulated from both core and each other. The core is built with the silicon steel laminations and provide a path of low reluctance for the magnetic flux. In actual construction, the two windings are wound one over the other. Generally, it is for theoretical knowledge, but in practical appliances, we can have the windings in such a way that they are wounding one over the other. When the primary winding is connected to the AC supply main, current, assume I1, which is known as primary winding, flows through it. This current produces an alternating flux phi in the core. Let assume this pi m as a alternating flux which is going to exist in the core. This flux first links with the primary winding. Okay, so produces self-induced EMF, that is the E1. We can call it as a self-induced EMF E1 in the primary winding, which opposes the applied voltage. This EMF, sometimes known as back EMF of the primary. The flux pi passes through the magnetic core and links with the secondary winding also. So induces an EMF called mutual induced EMF in the secondary winding. Let us name this mutual induced EMF as E2. The frequency of the induced EMF in the secondary is same as that of the flux or that of the supply voltage. This EMF in the secondary winding will able to circulate the current in the external load connected across it. Thus, the energy is transformed from primary winding to secondary winding by electromagnetic induction principle without any change in the frequency. Since transformer doesn't have any moving parts, it has the highest possible efficiency out of all the electrical machines and requires almost unliable amount of maintenance and repair. Once more. So it works on the principle, that is electromagnetic induction or mutual induction principle. So here, when AC supply is given to the primary winding, and an alternating flux is developed in the core, and it links both the windings as shown by the dotted line. See here, this flux produces induced EMF in both the windings, that is primary and secondary winding. In primary, we can call it as self-induced EMF, and secondary winding, we can call it as mutual induced EMF. The EMF induced in the primary winding can be known as self-induced EMF. We are going to name it as E1, and the EMF induced in the secondary winding is known as E2. We can call it as mutually induced EMF. So in general, the rating of the transformer is usually in volt ampere, that is VA. It varies from few volt amperes to megavolt ampere depending upon the application. Here, observe once more. It consists of two inductive windings and a laminated steel core. The coils are insulated from each other as well as from the steel core. A transformer may also consist of a container for winding and core assembly called as tank, suitably bushings to take out the terminals, oil conservator to provide oil in the transformer tank for cooling purpose. Generally, they are going in transformer, some oil is used to provide the cooling of the system. Here, in all the types of transformers, core is constructed by assembling, stacking laminated sheets of steel with the minimum air gap between them. Why? Because to achieve the continuous magnetic path. The steel used is having high silicon content and sometimes heat treated to provide high permeability and low hysteresis loss. Laminated sheets of steel are used to reduce the eddy current losses. The sheets are cut in the shape as E shape or I shape and L shape. To avoid high reluctance at joints, laminations are stacked by alternating the sides of joints. That is, if joints of first sheet assembly are at a front face, the joints of following assembly are kept at back face. This is the construction. So I have already repeated this working, but even though, let me tell once more. So the basic principle behind the working of transformer is the phenomenon of mutual induction principle between two windings linked by common magnetic flux. So in the figure we have shown how the magnetic flux is linking between the two coils. Basically, this transformer is going to consist two coils, namely primary winding and secondary winding. The coils are electrically separated but magnetically linked to each other. When primary winding is connected to a source of alternating voltage, alternating magnetic flux is produced around the winding. The core provides magnetic path for the flux to get linked with the secondary winding. Most of the flux gets linked with the secondary winding, which is called as useful flux or main flux. And the flux which does not get linked with secondary winding can be treated as leakage flux. As the flux produced is alternating, the direction of it is continuously changing. EMF gets induced in the secondary winding according to the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. This EMF can be called as mutually induced EMF, and the frequency of mutually induced EMF is same as that of the supplied EMF. The secondary winding is a closed circuit, then mutually induced current flows through it, and hence the electrical energy is transferred from one circuit that is primary to another circuit that is secondary winding. So let me discuss types of transformers. Okay. So we are going to have different categories. First one is core type transformer. In core type transformer, windings are cylindrical formers mounted on the core limbs as shown in the figure above. The cylindrical coils have different layers and each layer is insulated from each other. Materials like paper, cloth, or mica can be used for this insulation. Low voltage windings are placed nearer to the core as they are easier to insulate. And second one is the shell type transformer. The coils are former wound and mounted in layers stacked with insulation between them. A shell type transformer may have simple rectangular form or it may have a distributed form. And second classification is based upon their purpose. As we have discussed in the previous topic, that is step-up transformer and step-down transformer. Here in the step-up transformer, voltage increases at the secondary side with the subsequent decrease in the current. Next one is step-down transformer. Here, in this case, the voltage increases at secondary one. So with subsequent increase in the current. Okay. Third classification is it's based upon the type of supply. There are two types: single phase transformer, three phase transformer. So if we are going to have two types of supplies, AC supplies, power supplies, single phase power supply and three phase supply. So generally the single phase is used in the household appliances, whereas three phase supply is used in the industrial applications. So whenever the supply is of single phase, we can use this type of transformer, that is single phase, and it is used in household appliances. Where there is a need to use the three phase supply, where there the three phase transformer is going to use. Generally is used in the industrial application. And fourth one is on the basis of their use. We are going to have three types: power transformer, distribution transformer, and instrument transformer. The power transformer is used in the transmission link, that is a high rating. Whereas the second one is a distribution transformer. It is used in the distribution network, comparatively lower rating than that of power transformers. Instrument transformer used in relay and protection purpose in different instruments in industries. Generally, we are going to have current transformer. In the instrument transformers, we are going to have two types: current transformer and potential transformer. And next one is the basis of cooling employed. In order to cool the machine, in order to cool the transformer, oil is going to use for cooling purpose. On that we are going to have three types: oil filled self cooled type, oil filled water cooled type, and air blast type air cooled. These are the three types based upon which the cooling is employed in the transformers. It has been regarding the classification of transformers, and moving on to the next one, transformer turns ratio. So the turns ratio, the transformer's turns ratio can be given as the ratio of the number of turns on primary winding to the number of turns on the secondary winding. Let A is the ratio which is given as N1 by N2, where N1 is the number of turns on primary winding, N2 is the number of turns on the secondary winding. And coming to the voltage ratio, it may be defined as the ratio of the primary voltage to the secondary voltage, that is V1 by V2, where V1 is the primary voltage and V2 is the secondary voltage. And we can also have this equation as V1 by V2 is equals to the voltage ratio V1 by V2 is equals to E1 by E2, where E1 and E2 can be given as the induced EMF in the primary and secondary winding. And coming to the current ratio, generally the ratio is of constant value. Okay, we don't have any units. It will be as constant. Okay, let this constant will be as A. Coming to the current ratio, the current in the windings of the transformer is inversely proportional to the voltage. That means here the ratio, current ratio can be given as the defined as the ratio of the secondary current to the primary current, where I2 is the secondary current and I1 is the primary current. Okay. Next one is transformer transformation ratio. The transformer transformation ratio, a transformer turns ratio K is the quotient value obtained by dividing the number of turns of the primary winding N1 and the number of turns of the secondary winding N2. So then the transformation ratio can be given as K is equals to N1 by N2. So it represented by the letter K and is given by the equation. So if K is equals to N1 by N2, then the voltage ratio, this K can be given as E2 by E1. And similarly, it may defined as for the transformation ratio K may be defined as the ratio of the secondary induced EMF to the primary induced EMF. And meanwhile, we can also have the ratio like in current form, K can be given as the ratio of primary current to the secondary current, that is I1 by I2, vice versa. Next, let me tell what is a welding transformer. So the design of welding transformer is, let me tell first what is welding transformer. The welding transformer is a step down transformer that reduces the voltage from the source voltage to a lower voltage that is suitable for welding. So what is welding? It is a process where the two metallic parts are going to join by using high temperature. Okay. Some two metallic parts are going to join in this process by using high temperature. That high temperature or high heat is going to provide by the transformer. Okay. So here the secondary in this welding transformer, the secondary may have several tappings for adjusting the secondary voltage to control the welding current. The tappings are typically connected to a several high current plug. We observe this is the construction of welding transformer. The design of a welding transformer is mainly depends upon the nature of welding operation, like arc welding, butt welding, seam, or spot welding. So the welding transformer must have a no load voltage of about 60 to 70 volts, which is sufficient to establish the arc. So it has to, for no load condition, the welding transformer must establish how much 60 to 70 volts, which is sufficient to establish the arc, and also a sharply drooping external characteristics. For obtaining the required external characteristics, the welding transformers are provided with a relatively large reactance either in the transformer or in a separate reactor. The reactance is placed in a separate reactor. The transformer can be called as external reactor type welding transformer. So here, this is for primary winding, the AC supply is connected, and secondary winding, a load is connected where electrode is going to connected, and this is the place where the two metallic pieces are going to be welded, and it is the place where arc is provided by the secondary winding tapping according to the requirement. Why? Because not all the metallic parts require same temperature. Some require less, some require high. So based upon that, it depends upon the, so whenever there is a necessity of a low temperature or low heat, then then there is a need to supply small amount of current only. Suppose if the heat which we want to produce is very high, then we have to produce more current. So like that, based upon the application or based upon the requirement, we need to have different temperature ratings, different heat ratings, different metallic substances to weld. So for that purpose, here the different tap in secondary winding, we are going to have the different tappings, so that we can adjust, we can connect to that such tapping according to the requirement of heat and temperature, so that we can connect to that current value. This type of this consists of normal step-down transformer and a separate reactor. This reactor is placed in the secondary circuit, and the secondary voltage varies but little with the welding current. The arc voltage decreases with the increasing current or increasing voltage drop across the reactor. So the welding current can be controlled either by varying the reluctance of the reactor or by varying the number of turns on the reactor. In moving core reactor, the core consists of a portion carrying the winding and a moving limb which can be shifted away from and towards the fixed core by suitable arrangement. So here, in welding transformers, the secondary winding is provided with few tons of heavy winding because to withstand the heavy current with some tappings. Welding transformers are available from 100 amperes to some kilo amperes. Okay. Let me tell some applications of transformers. In electrical, first one, mainly these transformers are used in electrical power engineering. The transformers make it possible to convert electrical power from a generated voltage of about 11 kilovolts as determined by the generator design limitations to higher values of 132 kilovolts or 220 kilovolts or 400 kilovolts, like up to high values like 500 to 765 kilovolts, thus permitting the transmission of huge amounts of power long distances to appropriate distribution points, a tremendous saving in the cost of transmission line as well as in the power loss. So here, the electrical power engineering, the transformers are mainly they are going to use at the power stations to transmit the or to down convert to up convert the voltage generated at the thermal power station or any power station, which makes it as less power loss so that power loss can be minimized. Okay. And second one is as distribution points also the transformers are used to reduce this high voltage to a safe level. So at distribution points we are going to have substations. At that substations the high voltage is a very danger level. So in order to reduce this high voltage to safe level, again they are going to use the step down transformers and down convert the voltage up to 300 to 230 volts for use in homes as well as offices, industries, etc. In electrical communication, the next one is in electric communication, circuit transformers are used for a variety purpose. Example as an impedance transformation device to allow maximum transfer of power from the input circuit to the output device. And next application is in radio and television circuit input transformers. Interstage transformers and output transformers are widely used. Last, these are also used in telephone circuit, instrumentation circuits, and also control circuits. In general, the rating of a transformer is expressed in kilovolt ampere rather than kilowatts. Generally, kilovolt ampere. The rating, in any application, the rating of the transformer is expressed in kilovolt ampere rather than in kilowatts because the rated output of transformer is limited by heating and hence by the losses in the transformer. The two types of losses in the transformer are core losses and copper losses. The core depends on the transformer voltage. The core losses depends upon the transformer voltage, whereas the copper losses or ohmic losses are depending upon the transformer current. So the total losses depends upon the transformer voltage and current and are almost unaffected by the load power factor. Hence, the output rating of transformer is expressed in volt ampere or kilovolt ampere, but not in kilowatts. Every transformer has nameplate on it, on which manufacturer records the rated output, that is the rated voltage, the rated frequency. Example, we will have generally 25 kilovolt ampere or 3000 by 200 volts, the rate 50 hertz. That is, we will have the rating on each and every nameplate of the transformer. So hence we have discussed, in this session we have discussed working and construction of transformer, transformation ratio of transformer and a welding transformer. And meanwhile, we have also seen the rating of transformer. So the main principle which we are going to use in the transformer is electromutual induction, Faraday's laws, electromagnetic induction principle. What is the transformer? It is a static electrical machine which transfers AC electrical power from one circuit to another circuit without changing in the frequency. But the voltage level can be altered by means voltage can be increased or decreased according to the requirement. So basically, works on the principle of Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, that which states that the magnitude of the voltage is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux. So here, it shows the basic construction. Here we are going to observe a laminated core which is made up of steel, soft iron. I will observe two windings, primary winding and secondary winding. The winding to which the AC source, AC mains voltage is connected, we call it as primary winding, and the winding to which load is connected can be known as secondary winding. We observe this, there is no physical connection between these two windings, but they are magnetically connected. There is a connection, physical connection is nil here. Okay, there is no physical connection, but they are magnetically coupled with each other. Okay, these are the types: 4-type transformers, shell-type transformers, and on the basis of purpose, we are going to have step-up transformer, step-down transformer. On basis of supply, we are going to have single-phase transformer, 3-phase transformer, and on the basis of the use, 3 types: power transformer, distribution transformer, and instrument transformer. And under this instrument transformers, we are going to have current transformer and potential transformer. At last one is based upon the cooling employed: oil filled self cool type and oil filled water cool type and air blast type. Coming to transformer ratio, we are going to have, generally the ratio will be constant. It is equals to N1 by N2, which is equals to V1 by V2, and again it is equals to I2 by I2. So the current voltage ratio and turns ratio are directly proportional to each other, but the current ratio is inversely proportional to this turns and voltage ratio. And transformation ratio can be given as, it is defined as K, which is given as a ratio of N1 by N2, vice versa. So it is given as I1 by I2, which is equals to V2 by V1. Okay. And next, welding transformer, it is nothing but a step-down basically the step-down transformer, which reduces the voltage from the source voltage to a lower voltage that is suitable for welding purpose. And meanwhile, the secondary winding is going to have several tappings for adjusting the secondary voltage. And meanwhile, the winding is the secondary winding used here is with the heavy winding, few tons of heavy winding in order to tolerate high current values. So this is to control the welding current. The tappings are typically connected to a high current level. Generally, this the transformer which is used for welding purpose can be named as welding transformer. So in welding transformer, high current values are used, and also for different material, for different metallic part, we need to use different current. So not all the parts, not all the metallic parts are going to use the same temperature or same heat. So in order to provide the required current value for secondary winding, there is arrangement that where there are several tappings to adjust the secondary voltage to control the welding current. It shows the figure of welding current. Okay. So with this, our topic has been completed, and in next session we'll discuss with another new topic. Thank you and all.